The rivalry between director Spike Lee and former NBA player Reggie Miller is one of the most famous and entertaining side stories in NBA history. This rivalry played out during the intense New York Knicks vs. Indiana Pacers matchups in the 1990s, particularly during the NBA playoffs. Here's a rundown of the history. The context: Knicks vs. Pacers rivalry. In the 1990s, the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers were two of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. Both teams were known for their tough, physical style of play, and their matchups were often heated, with a lot on the line. The Knicks, led by players like Patrick Ewing and John Starks, were one of the elite teams of the early to mid-90s. The Pacers, with Reggie Miller as their star player, were an emerging force, and Miller became known as one of the most clutch and fearless shooters in the league. Spike Lee's role. Spike Lee, a famed filmmaker and die-hard New York Knicks fan, was a constant presence courtside at Madison Square Garden. He was known for his vocal support of the Knicks and his willingness to engage in trash talk with opposing players. His passion for the Knicks was well documented, and he became something of an unofficial mascot for the team during this period. The iconic moment: 1994 Eastern Conference Finals. The rivalry between Spike Lee and Reggie Miller reached its peak during the 1994 Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks were facing the Pacers, and the series was tightly contested. The defining moment of the rivalry occurred in Game 5 at Madison Square Garden. During the game, Spike Lee was particularly vocal in taunting Reggie Miller, who was known for his ability to rise to the occasion in big moments. As the game progressed, Miller began to respond to Lee's taunts by taking over the game in dramatic fashion. He scored 25 points in the fourth quarter alone, leading the Pacers to a come-from-behind victory. Miller famously made a choke sign at Lee, gesturing that the Knicks were choking under pressure, and after making a crucial three-pointer, he also mimicked the act of talking on the phone, as if he were taunting Lee directly. Aftermath. The Pacers ultimately lost the series to the Knicks in 7 games, but the Miller-Lee incident became one of the most memorable moments in NBA playoff history. Reggie Miller's performance in Game 5 was a defining moment of his career, solidifying his reputation as a clutch performer. Spike Lee and Reggie Miller's rivalry added a layer of entertainment and drama to the already intense Knicks-Pacers rivalry. Even though they were adversaries on the court, their rivalry was also seen as part of the theater of the NBA. In later years, both Lee and Miller acknowledged the rivalry with a sense of humor, and it has since become a beloved piece of NBA lore. The legacy. The Spike Lee vs. Reggie Miller saga has been referenced and celebrated in various media, including documentaries and retrospectives on the 1990s NBA era. It remains a prime example of how the passion of fans and the personalities of players can create unforgettable moments in sports history.